D. McClung, Archer Monologues. This is June the 3rd, second episode of the day, but that's because it's after midnight, and bingo, I'm lucky tonight. I've got two. I'm on a roll. So, June 3rd, 2020, episode 8 for the year. All right, here's the thing. All right, let me think. Give me my thoughts, gathering my thoughts. Let me think. Riots, violence, looting, burning, destruction, anger, hate, protests. So I've heard this a lot, and it really gets me. Okay. See, all right. I'll just say this: peaceful protests. Now everybody seems to be in favor of those peaceful protests. Everybody says, "Yeah, we're even the president says, yeah, we're proud of these peaceful protests." Or is it the governor of West Virginia that said that? I read it a while ago. Okay, the general idea is peaceful protests are nice. That's also nice. That's so nice. You can be good boys and girls and peacefully protest. And then we can basically just fucking ignore you. Now, I don't condone or nor do I support nor do I made up a new word. I do not condone or support violence like mobs running amok, riots, looting, destruction of property, violence against people, arsonists. These are criminals, and they should be caught and held accountable for their crimes. I do not condone that. I do not support that. Have never supported that. Don't advocate for that. However, and I suspect at this point there's some instigators out there trying to make it really bad by committing some violence and then inspiring, dumb fuck stupid people to kind of go along with it and steal stuff out of the stores and shit. Mobs are contagious. So if you get an instigator in there that wants to start something, like I'm not going to name any names. I don't know. Let's just say, secret government agents, shadow agents, troublemakers, people who go around and cause trouble when there wasn't any previously. So there are those that are saying that's true and that's happening, and I don't know for sure or not. I don't have any particular concrete evidence that that's going on, except that I've seen some people do some weird shit, and I don't understand why they would do that. All right. Protests. Now, something is bad, something is really, really bad, and people get upset and they protest. Meaning they hang around the streets, they march, they have signs, they shout things like, no justice, no peace, and in discrimination, and I can't breathe. It's that kind of thing, and that's all. I'm not making fun of that at all in any way, shape, or form. But they say it, they do it, they march, they protest, they do some things, and the peaceful ones, and they don't burn buildings down and loot loot out of the Target stores and stuff. They're just basically they hang around with some signs and say some chants and do some talking and maybe do a little bit of arguing with their friends and neighbors and fellow human beings, etc. on the parade route of their protest, or on the sidewalk, or in the streets, or whatever. And if they'd have just stayed nice and peaceful, It would have been so much nicer for everyone, Just be peaceful. Just be peaceful in your protests. Be nice. Be kind. Be gentle. All right. I don't care how many people you have protesting. If they're being peaceful and like staying in the sidewalk or whatever, they're not blocking traffic, they're not looting, they're not tearing things down, whatever. They're just some people hanging around the street. And they might actually get in the street and, block traffic and stuff for a little bit. I'm sure that that's not really so bad. In general, in the long run, they're going to get out of the street. Traffic's going to resume at some point. If there's no violence and if the police are not going to get involved and, make a mess out of things themselves, because as a rule, cops are, the whole point of the protest is cops, killer cops, beastly, brutal bastards, hitting people, killing people, dragging people out of their cars, putting people in jail for like not a crime, like having a plant or, getting some money for having some sex, like prostitutes. Not a crime. I've even seen over the course of my lifetime, some people that didn't want to wear clothes got arrested for like, indecent exposure, and that's just some kind of made up crime. It's not really a crime because people are naturally naked, meaning no feather, furs, or scales on their body. Nude is with no clothes. No, there's no crime there. It's just, you are what you are, you do what you do, and it's a human being. I mean, any human being that doesn't know what a human being looks like, male or female or both, at some point has, probably just hasn't had their eyes open yet. They're like still, I don't know, maybe they're blind. In this day and age, in the last 20 years, I'd say if you have never seen porn, if you've never seen porn on the internet, you're not awake. And, if you say, I don't watch porn, you're a liar. Anyway, the thing is, let's be nice. Let's be nice. Let's be so very, very nice. And obey the rules and be nice. And if the policeman says, hey, get off the street, go home. Okay, officer, I'll go away now. Or get a permission slip from the government. Like, okay, I have a permit to march in a parade of protesters down the street, on Main Street. Hey, wait a minute. You got permission from the enemy? You got permission slip from the enemy? Seriously? I don't know how many of these protests going on right now are actually officially sanctioned by, a permit. I hope to God they don't have a permit, because that would kind of defeat the whole thing altogether. It's just, we're protesting police violence and government oppression and, government shit. And, we're going to ask the government for permission to say that on a street corner, which we own, by the way. You know what I'm saying? Let's be nice. Let's ask the government for permission to hate the government. Really. Let's ask for permission to exercise our rights. Free speech, the right to keep and bear arms, the right to practice our religion. I have trouble with that. I know it's in the Constitution, and I understand that, people should certainly be able to practice their religion as they see fit, except when their religion is like stupid and harmful. Like, my religion says it's all right to burn witches. Like Christianity, for example, suffer ye not a witch to live. So yeah, let's let these lunatics practice their religion, which says it's okay to burn and murder and torture witches. Yeah, let them go ahead. It's religious freedom to do that. They have a right to burn witches. This is the part that befuddles me. I can't comprehend how anybody could. I'm a Christian and I believe what the Bible says and I believe in all that. And then you turn around and, here, read that part. This part about murder witches. It's in there. Duh. And I've even heard people talk about it. Like, yeah, I read that. And this is 21st century. Really? Burn witches? Really? Like, there's such a thing as witches. No, there's not. So, you're an idiot. Whew. That's just unbelievable. But if we want to practice our religion, we want to practice our religion. Okay, all right, fine. So I have a problem with the very concept of people exercising their right to believe mythological nonsense or stupid shit like Christianity. And it is stupid, and that's just an opinion, I suppose. You think? I think there's a lot of evidence and facts, documented historical truths that support my view that Christianity is evil and disgusting and stupid. Yeah, I shouldn't say that. Christians are going to be all butthurt. Well, guess what? Fuck you. I don't care. You're wrong. And you're just acting like an idiot. So, yeah, you practice your religion, but, just remember, if you go around killing homosexuals, you're wrong, and you're going to go to jail. Because murder, duh. So, I'm just saying. What we're talking about this. Oh, I got to ask for permission. You ask for permission to do all kind of shit that, you have a right to do. And let me explain this. If you have to get permission from the government to do it, then it's not a right and it's not freedom. You follow me? Oh, I got to get a marriage license to get married legally. Yeah? No, you don't. In the first place, state marriage is not marriage. It's a government program. It's fraudulent scheme to incorporate you. Duh. And this is, this is just so obvious. And I thought of it because I'm paying attention and I have a brain. And still there are people that are like, oh yeah, we got to have a license. It won't be legal, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, it will be, because a right like marriage cannot be made illegal. So you can't have a marriage that's not sanctioned by the government. I mean, wait a minute, did I say that right? You can't make a marriage that has no license into a crime or illegal, because it's a right. Rights are not, I just can't even, I want to hit myself in the head with hammers. Bam, 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 bam. What's wrong with you people? I mean, didn't you have civics class or anything when you were in school? I know that. I heard they don't teach civics in class anymore. Well, I was in a civics class in the 9th grade, I think it was. And, or was it the 8th grade? Either way, I remember. And I was very argumentative in that class. And the teacher would say, this, and I said, I don't think so. I mean, you're saying that I have a right to this, and then now you're telling me I have to get a permission slip from the government to exercise the right? What the fuck? Oh, I suppose I should put something on the front of this thing saying language or something. If you can't handle fuck or shit or kiss my ass or motherfucker, you shouldn't be allowed out in public or be able to get on the internet. Because you're probably like 2 years old and you need to stay in your crib or something. Besides, language is words. Words are words. They don't kill you. I know people are always saying stuff. Words can hurt. Yeah, yeah. If you're an idiot and someone says, you're an idiot, yeah, that can hurt your feelings. And if you're a Christian and like someone says, you know what, you're an idiot because nobody has a brain believes that shit. And yeah, that hurts your feelings and shit. But hey, deal with it because you're the one that chose to be an idiot. Wasn't me. All right. So the thing is, let's get permission to protest. Let's ask the government for permission to hate the government. Let's ask the government for permission to protest against the government. Think. Now, people are saying, oh, you got the right to protest. It's a basic thing in America. Well, you got the right of free speech. It's a basic right of humanity in America. Let's get permission slip to do that. We're going to have a protest and parade down the street in protest of government tyranny and dictators and bullies and tyrants and nasty bastards and cop killing motherfuckers and shit. Not cop killing, cop motherfuckers that kill people. You know what I'm saying? Oh yeah, I got to permission to, walk down the street and say, cop killer, put him in jail. Yeah, no, you don't get a permit because it's the whole point of it is, you're doing what you have a right to do, which is really be pissed off that people like cops are running around with guns and badges and shit murdering people. Yeah, last I heard, I just read the other day, somewhere about 1,000 people in America get murdered by the cops every year. I'm sure there are details, like maybe he was, like shooting at them and he just shot back to protect themselves. Yeah, maybe. Maybe that would mean there are more people die from having cops involved that I don't even know on that statistic. But anyway, no, you don't get a permission slip to, be angry with the bad guys. You don't get a permission slip from the very people. It's like, I'm a slave. Oh, master, can I have your permission to, like, run away and not be a slave anymore? Really? Are you that stupid, people? Are you really that dumb? Really? Not you if you're smart, but, if you're listening to this, you're probably not one of those people. I don't know if people that I'm talking about listen to my podcast. I suppose it's possible. I would hope at some point people would listen to it and say, he's talking about me. I'm an idiot. I need to change my ways. Wake up. Be enlightened. Learn something. Oh, by the way, this is a podcast. But what kind of podcast? The format is monologue. That means I talk and you do not talk. That's why it's called a monologue. Ha! So if you want to say something, talk amongst yourselves, but you're not talking to me because, podcast, monologue. All right. So what I'm saying is, Americans are so dumb. Oh, let's have permission. All right. You don't need permission to exercise a right. That's a fact of law. That's a fact of principle in regards to freedom. You have freedom. I got freedom. I can do what I want. Okay. As long as you don't hurt anybody else or violate another person's human rights, you can do whatever you want. Right? Right. But I got to have permission to get married. No, you don't. Besides, if you get a permission slip from the government to get married, you're not getting married. You're joining a government program, like food stamps or Social Security. There's nothing to do with marriage. Seriously. So, sinuses are killing me this year. Allergies drive me nuts. All right. You getting my point? No. You don't need permission to exercise a right. So if I have the right to free speech, guess what? I'm not asking for your permission, Mr. President. I have a right to protest because, freedom of assembly. I think it says something like freedom to peacefully assemble. Uh, yeah, so that's a given. Otherwise, it's a mob. And in which case, if there's any rioting and stuff going on, it's a crazed mob. In which case, that's not quite the same thing, is it? I have the right to create a mob, and I have a right to riot and steal stuff out of the Target store and burn down the police station and shit. Yeah, I can understand burning down the police station. Those people are bad, evil people. Um, but on the other hand, taxpayers' money paid for it, so, you're just burning down your own money. Burning up your own money. Unless you don't pay taxes, income taxes, that is to say, because, you're not liable for those. I'm telling you a fact here. No law making you liable for the income tax. None, zip, zero, zilch, nada. Nobody can show you one. The government agents, the IRS people, they will not show you that law because it doesn't exist and they can't. This is a fact. I've asked them. They said, nah, you're a troublemaker, and hung up on me because, you know why? Because they can't show me the law. And why? Because it doesn't exist. Anyway, moving back to this right to do things without a permit. The right to marry. You have a right to marry. It's a natural born thing. You have a right. Right. You know what right means? Well, there's some technicality there where you could say a right is only relevant in regards to a system that incorporates the concept of rights in it. Somehow lately, people have decided that rights is a universal thing. However, we'll go with rights, and we'll go with that. There's another word like liberty or freedom, which I prefer. But the concept of rights has been around for a long time, and the Constitution says, the right to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. That means you have the right, all bodies, all people. Because the Constitution and the Declaration of Independence and all that stuff, you say, oh, all men are created equal. And, that's back when, they didn't think men were created equal. They said it in the paper, in the document, and that's been praised all the time. Yeah, all men are created equal. But what about women? And what about people that are not quite grown up enough to be men yet? How about, boys and girls, like adolescents, for example? Created equal. I think the word created equal applies to how the government looks at you. In other words, the government looks at us as a mass of people, like let's say in America, rounded off to 300 million. That means 300 million people in America, according to the government's view, according to how the government deals with us, we're all equal, including children, including adolescents. Oh, by the way, children and adolescents, two different stages of human development. If you're like, excuse me for being explicit here, but if you're a girl and you got boobies and you got blood from, bleeding from your vagina on a regular basis, let's say monthly, you're not a child. Adolescent. What is adolescent? Let's look at the word adolescent. Adult-lescent. Think about that. A little bit less than an adult, but you're still an adult. And by the way, if you can do those things, you're capable of having sex, which means the age of consent has been determined by nature, not by your government. So age of consent laws are totally invalid and they're irrelevant. They have nothing to do with reality and nature and human existence. I need permission to have sex. Yeah? Guess what? No, you don't. It's a human right. You want to have sex? Bingo. It's your right. But I'm only 15. Well, guess what? You know how to do it, don't you? If you're 15 and you don't know what a boy and a girl looks like, if you're a boy and you don't know what a girl looks like, where have you been? Anyway, you wanna find yourself someone, have some sex. Yeah. Well, let me just give you this one. It is my view that every human being over the age of, well, if I give you a number, then I'm going to be, I'm going to be falling into that trap of putting numbers on things. Like, as if there's a, numbers are important, like the age of consent. Oh, it's 18, it's 16, it's 21, it's 12, it's 11, it's 14, it's 13 in Mexico, blah, blah, blah. Well, of course, state laws state laws say, the age of consent in West Virginia is 16, and in New Mexico it was like 13, no, not anymore. Now, the age of consent is universally set at 18, and basically because the United States government, in its infinite disgust, decided to, invent something and say, oh, well, now you're 18, that's it. If you're under 18, you don't get to do that. That's discrimination based on age. I'm pretty sure that's against the law, or should be, or at least is in certain circumstances, like, the Constitution. Duh. Age of consent. That's a fabricated number, and just come up with some, pull it out of their hat saying, I don't think they should have sex until they're 58. Well, if you can say age of consent and have a law and then put a number like 18 or 16 or 21 or whatever, then you can make it 40. I mean, if you're that powerful, you can determine nature and how nature works in reality. Yeah, we're going to change nature, and we're just going to say nature doesn't apply. Human frailty, stupid, dumb fuck humans are going to just say, yeah, we're going to make 18 the nature. Nature is 18 now. You understand what I'm saying? That doesn't change nature. And people want to argue about this. I don't get it. I mean, I just said something that's true. It is true. It is obvious. It's in front of your face. Have you never had a science class in your life? Or a biology class? Or read a book? How about this? If you're a teenager and you're like, you know what? I got a dick. And I want to play with it because it feels good. And you know what? That girl over there got nice titties and I want to play with them. And I'm going to go over and ask her, hey, sweetie, I like you. And she's going to say, I like you too. And I'm going to say, oh, not me. Not me. I'm not 15. I wish, but not. Why don't we just go and, find a nice quiet place and, get, naked and fuck. And she said, sure. Sounds like fun. And you're thinking, no, really? Well, this is about age of consent and stuff. This girl is 15. She's got tits. She's got vagina. She's got hair around her vagina unless she shaves it off, which is a new trend these days, which is fine. It's like smoothies. But nature has already told her, you're ready. You're ready to do it. You're ready. And your hormones are in your body saying, do it, do it, do it, do it. And the guy, he's over there with his dick sticking out, like about, that far. And he's saying, yeah, I wanna. Now, in order to get the consent of the other person, this works both ways, by the way. I've had girls say to me, I want to fuck you. And I said, well, I don't really want to. And she said, you don't give consent? And I said, nope. And you, if you're a boy, you're thinking, why would you say no? Well, there are reasons. One, because she's a skank. And two, because I'm pretty sure she's got like AIDS or something. And so, no, I don't want to fuck you. And so the age of consent is whatever age I was at the time. And in this case, I was in my 50s or 60s or something. And I said, no. Well, you're not going to consent. That's right. Then I can't have sex with you. You betcha. That's the point. That you got it. Not going to happen. Vice versa. Me and, a guy and a girl, and I'm like, hey baby, I want to have sex with you because I like sex, and you got nice tits and everything. And she says no, and I say, why not? And if she's, she's got the time and inclination, she might tell me why. Like, you're old. You're like really freaking old. What do you mean I'm old? You're like, over 70 or something. Yeah, but I'm only 20. Okay, let's make it 24. I'm only 24. I don't want to have sex with you. You're old. Well, just a side note here. I see no reason why two people cannot love each other or like each other or even be sexually attracted to each other just because one of them happens to be older. Might get in trouble with some of you people who are thinking like right now, you get your brains working in gear, like, he's talking about children. No, I'm not. But you'll say I am because you're a fucking asshole. So, age of consent is whatever nature says. And if nature says you're 12 and you're ready, you're ready. And that's your age of consent for you. And it's pretty much a general scheme of things. Most people, when they get to be about 12, 13 or so, most of them are saying, yeah, I've got a little bit of horny here. I wonder what I could do about it. And for boys, I'm pretty sure most of the time for boys in their teens, it's like, okay, I'm going to be in the bathroom for a while. Let's see if I can find some magazines, or in this case, internet, porn on the internet, because there's only about 4 billion websites with porn on it, and it's free. How do I know this? I've probably seen almost all of them. Have to be careful with that, boys, because there's some what do you call it? They'll put a virus on your computer, so be careful. Make sure you have your virus up to date and all that. And stick with maybe some of the most popular ones, so reputable porn sites. All right, so the point is, age of consent is nature. Nature says when you're ready, that's your age of consent. You don't need the government to tell you this. The government has nothing to say about this. The government has no point in saying anything about this. It's totally irrelevant to government because government, that's not their job. Oh, we got to protect the children. No, the government doesn't have to protect the children. The government has to shut up, mind its own business, take care of the roads, and, make sure the mail gets through. And, stuff like that. Now, I don't want to get into this conservative versus liberal thing, but another show, but another time. Anyway, I'll forget it. I'm not even going to go there this time. All right. So, age of consent, when your body says you're ready, and you can say yes or no according to yourself. And you should. Oh, by the way, if you don't know everything there is to know about sex and like protecting yourself from diseases, protecting yourself from injury, protecting yourself from pregnancy, if you don't know all that by the time whenever you're ready to, say, yes, I will, or okay, do it, or let's, have some sex and fuck them like rabbits or whatever. If you don't know by that point in your life, if it's 10, 12, 15, 38 years old, I don't care how old you are. If you don't know all of that information about your human sexuality by the time you're ready to, start sticking things in yourself or other people, whatever, if you're not, then you shouldn't be doing it. Not because it's wrong, not because it's some kind of sin or because, some Christian told you something stupid, but because, or the government is trying to, control and oppress you and your sexuality because, that's wrong, but because you're just not prepared and you should be prepared. It's like, in order to make an informed decision, like consent, you should be informed. So you should have an education that is honest, truthful, and complete and accurate about human sexuality. Meaning, If I ask you what's a condom, you should know. In fact, you should have some in your pocket, male or female. If you're, thinking in your brain, I'm old enough to have sex because I got a period and I got boobs and shit. Or a guy saying, hey, I got a big one and I wank and he cum shoots across the room. Carry some condoms. If you don't know this already, then you're not being educated properly. And oh, by the way, don't count on other people to teach you. Learn for your own self. Decide. Learning is the best way to do it. Learning is always the best way to do anything as far as education is concerned. Learn stuff. Don't allow people to teach you, because the teaching process is indoctrination, and that's not going to work. It's going to you're going to wind up being, indoctrinated, manipulated, brainwashed, and, your brain's going to be full of shit. So don't go there. So think of it as learning. So you get to the teacher and you tell the teacher, I don't know this stuff. Tell me, or give me a book, or show me where I can find out. Or, let's have some illustrations, pick some people and illustrate how to put a condom on. Don't put it on a freaking banana. Put it on a dick. Come on, get real. If that's the way you're getting taught your sex education in school, go on the internet. They'll show you. Go on the internet, find a porn site that uses condoms on the males. They'll show you how to put a condom on. Hell, I would show you how to put a condom on. And in fact, that might be a project I might be considering in the future. I'll just illustrate how to put a condom on and take one off. And I would feel more comfortable if I had a partner, like a woman, or if I was gay, then I would, maybe two gay guys could illustrate. That would be a worthwhile project, to make a video of putting a condom on and taking a condom off, and other things related to human sexuality. Yeah, I would do that. Maybe I will. So, reversing back into the concept, you don't have to have permission to have sex. You don't have to have government permission to do anything that's a right. So you don't need a government permission to carry a gun, have a gun, own a gun, buy a gun, sell a gun, whatever. Because it's a right, and you don't. Rights are not licensed, taxed, regulated, made legal or illegal. So marriage without a license is perfectly legal, and people have been doing it for centuries because, it's called common law in some cases, but, it's a right. So if you wanna, you wanna. You find somebody you like, you say, hey, why don't you and I, be like married people and, live together and have sex and make some babies and stuff and have common goals and common interests in life. And why don't we just do that? And then you say, okay, and you do it. And that's called being married. Now, you want a ceremony, fine. That's a ceremony, but it has nothing to do with legalities. You can have a marriage, which is have a ceremony if you want one. Whatever ceremony suits you. Go for it. Traditional or non-traditional, or you could just stand in front of some people like your family and say, this woman and I, we're going to live together and maybe make some babies if we're young enough, and, live together and have dinner together and sleep together and have sex together. A lot of it, I hope. And, yeah. And be like married, and be like Mr. and Mrs. And that's married, because that's what it is. It's whatever you say it is for you. This thing about gay marriage, same gender marriage, by the way, not same sex. Sex is what you do with your genitals. Gender is what you got. That's what kind of genitals you have, like male or female. It's not, sex is a thing you do with your genitals. It's like a verb, where gender is like a noun. It's like describes your genitals. I've got male genitals, so I'm a male gender, and vice versa. Now I know the gay people and the transgenders and the transvestites and all that shit. I'm not getting into that right now, but which it's fine. I don't have a problem with any of it. It's awesome. because people are people and they're different, and I like that. Variety is good. So anyway, and people who don't like that or have a problem with it, oh, it's the Christian people like, right? Oh, the Bible says it's an abomination and we should kill homosexuals. You don't think the Bible says that? Yeah, well, you're not very good at reading, are you? Anyway, yeah, so if you believe that, then you're not a good guy at all. You're just dumb. So I'm sorry, I got this stupid sinus allergy. Anyway, I'll be better later. Anyway, wrap it up here in a minute. It's important that we come to understand these things and that we explain them to others so that they may learn reality, truth, fact. All right? So just remember that. Marriage is what you say it is. Government has nothing to say about it. If you want to join the government program, you're not getting married, according to, because marriage has nothing to do with that. But if you want to, then you're a fool because, someone says, oh, they got the benefits. If you get married with the government program, that's not marriage benefits. That's government bribery. So you can become incorporated with the government and tell you what to do and how to control your marriage. So you don't want that. That's just stupid. Why would you trade a right for a privilege? I mentioned privilege, didn't I? No, I didn't. Okay? Why would you trade the right of marriage for the privilege of marriage? That's just stupid. What kind of brain dead stupid would do that? All right, I'm wrapping it up for this episode, and I'll be back for the next episode pretty soon. Sorry. Be careful, be safe, be happy, and be kind. And be educated. Learn stuff. And be aware. Because a lot of stupid people out there trying to brain damage you. All right? D. McClung, Arthur Monologues. Till next time. See ya.